Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for those deeper cut 80s tunes that possess a special appeal to music fans.
There's no easy way out. Giving in can't be wrong.
Number 30, Black Velvet, Alana Miles.
Mississippi, in the middle of a dry spell.
The 90s were clearly on the horizon when this late decade cut from Canada's Alana Miles hit the charts. There's a slinky and sexy groove to Black Velvet that couldn't feel more removed from the polished pop or arena-ready hair metal of the 80s. Instead, Miles brings a bold and brash bluesy feeling to the tune.
In a flash, he was gone. It happened so soon.
Black Velvet still possesses a rock core, however, a propulsive and addictive song that remains a career calling card for Miles. The singer has remained connected to the tune ever since. But hey, there are worse things out there than having Black Velvet be your biggest hit, right? Number 29, It's a Sin, Pet Shop Boys. There's a wonderful sense of gothic grandeur to It's a Sin by the Pet Shop Boys. A dramatic and almost dark emotional core to the group's electronic pop.
When I look back upon my life, it's always with a sense of shame.
The song has also gone on to become something of a cathartic anthem to the LGBTQIA+ community, many of whom have internalized Neil Tennant's lyrics to the tune. This is despite It's a Sin actually deriving from Tennant's youthful upbringing in the Catholic school system.
It's a sin, Father forgive me. I try not to do it.
We're honestly just glad It's a Sin has lived on all these years, since the combination of high energy shine and propulsive rhythmic polish just rocks, plain and simple. Number 28, When We Was Fab, George Harrison.
Back then, long time ago, when grass was green.
Nostalgia can sometimes be a bitter beast, but there's thankfully a lot to celebrate when it comes to When We Was Fab by George Harrison. This tune leans into Harrison's time as a member of the Beatles, both lyrically and musically, and does so with fondness.
Caresses fleeced you in the morning light. Casualties at dawn.
When We Was Fab reflects upon the excitement of music making during the 60s and 70s, while the song also embraces psychedelic music tropes popular during those eras.
Long time ago when we was fab.
At the same time, the clean and bright production style of ELO's Jeff Lynne allows When We Was Fab to stand upon its own creative feet as a true George Harrison original. Number 27, I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight, Cutting Crew. There's a palpable urgency and sincerity to Cutting Crew's hit single, I Just Died in Your Arms. It's a dramatic song with driving drums, powerful melodies, atmospheric synth, and punctuating bass work. Lead vocalist Nick Van Eede also kills it in the vocal harmony department, particularly during that epic chorus.
I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said.
I Just Died in Your Arms knows when to brood and when to go for broke with a passionate bridge.
Follow my hands through my head. I know I was wrong.
What can we say? We just never get tired of hearing this song, and it remains Cutting Crew's finest hour from the 1980s.
It must have been some kind of kiss. I should have walked away.
Number 26, Harden My Heart, Quarter Flash. It just hits you right from that fantastic opening saxophone melody. Harden My Heart by Quarter Flash is something special. Rindy Ross does great work with a slightly sad but beautifully sung performance on lead vocals.
Right on the corner, waiting in the rain. I swear I'll never ever wait again.
Harden My Heart shuffles along with an insistent bass-driven groove that also allows for plenty of room for the band to shine. There's smooth and melodic guitar soloing, great vocal harmonies on that chorus, and of course, that saxophone.
I'm gonna swallow my tears. I'm gonna hurt my heart.
The song's final section in particular amps up the edge and aggression, entering full anthem territory for a group that, in our opinion, deserved more success. Long live Quarter Flash.
I'm gonna swallow my tears. I'm gonna hurt my heart.
Number 25, No Easy Way Out, Robert Ter. Some songs just sound cinematic, as if they can't possibly be separated from that silver screen source material. No Easy Way Out by Robert Ter was notably utilized within a memorable montage from Rocky IV, and we've been singing along ever since.
There's something so worth fighting for. Some feelings never die.
There's a fierce rawness to Tepper's unabashedly emotive performance, a go-for-broke sensibility that's impossible to deny. The song's musicality shouldn't be questioned either, since those processed 80s synths meld perfectly with that driving bass to create musical magic on the chorus.
There's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home.
Meanwhile, Tepper's singing as the song fades out surges with an unironic, make-you-believe-it energy, and we are here for it.
There's no easy way out.
Number 24, The Living Years, Mike and the Mechanics.
Every generation blames the one before.
Phil Collins wasn't the only member of Genesis to achieve chart success outside of that main band. Guitarist Mike Rutherford's group Mike and the Mechanics laid down an impressive hit of their own with The Living Years. The main looped guitar lick from Rutherford is great stuff, but the real standout here with The Living Years are its lyrics.
Say it loud. Say it clear. Oh, say it clear.
Themes of regret for not patching up an estranged relationship might not on the surface feel as if they might resonate on the pop charts.
As well as you hear.
In the end, however, this is exactly why The Living Years has endured in the modern day. Rutherford and his band have something to say here, and weave together some standout melodies at the same time. It's honestly pretty wonderful. Number 23, Run With Us, Lisa Lohed. This all-time jam from Lisa Lohed wastes absolutely no time in getting its thematic point across to the listener.
When darkness falls, leaving shadows in the night.
Synthesized bass, drums, and keyboards highlight Run With Us, a song that also served as the theme to the Raccoons cartoon show back in the 80s.
Now get going. Desperate love keeps on driving you wrong.
Lohed's vocals carry the torch here with an emotionally resonant performance that hits us right in the heart, tugging on those strings for all they're worth.
You can run with us. We've got everything you need.
There's also some high-energy guitar work to be had here on Run With Us, particularly during the song's final chorus. Make no mistake, however, this is Lisa Lohed's show all the way. Number 22, Party All the Time, Eddie Murphy. We can't fault Eddie Murphy for collaborating with funk legend Rick James on this ultimate vanity project.
Girl, I can't understand it. Why you wanna hurt me?
Party All the Time essentially just exists to prove that Eddie Murphy could also dominate another aspect of the entertainment industry, after conquering stand-up comedy and movie making. Party All the Time wisely hides Murphy's limitations as a vocalist, thanks to those grandiose keyboards on the chorus.
My girl wants to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time.
Elsewhere, James's hands are all up in this production pie, adding reverb and echo-like layers on a cake. A friggin' awesome cake of pop star / pop chart kismet that we're so glad exists. Number 21, Romeo and Juliet, Dire Straits.
A love-struck Romeo, sing the streets a serenade.
Sometimes you don't need to be loud or brash to get your point across to a listener. Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits knew this all too well, and this sentiment is delivered with beautiful poignancy on Romeo and Juliet.
Juliet, the dice was loaded from the start, and I bet
There's an ache and yearning to be had within Knopfler's lyrics of failed love, as well as his generational ability to make that guitar practically weep with emotion.
when we made love, you used to cry. Said I love you like the stars above. I love you till I die.
All I Do Is Kiss You Through the Bars of a Rhyme is a simple but gorgeous bit of lyrical poetry from the song. Meanwhile, Romeo and Juliet vacillates musically from sparse verses to cathartic chorus, while the closing guitar solo reverberates through broken hearts around the world. It's a beautiful and bittersweet sort of pain, really. Number 20, Vienna Ultraox. For those that know the band Ultravox well, Vienna is usually considered their most prominent release.
We walked in the cold air.
The song is sometimes associated with the band's performance at Live Aid, where it was a highlight. Avoiding sentimentality, the synth-pop track uses the title city as the setting for a torrid romantic relationship.
Voice reaching out in a piercing cry, it stays with you until.
Emotions run high as singer Midge Ure puts his all into every note. The chorus in particular allows Ure to show off, proving himself as a highly underrated vocalist. The original release was a hit in multiple European countries, but it failed to cross the pond in the same way. All these years later, it deserves a rediscovery from modern listeners. Number 19, Don't Dream It's Over, Crowded House. After leaving Split Enz, singer Neil Finn brought his talents to the group Crowded House, and this hit was a result.
There is freedom within, there is freedom without.
It very narrowly missed out on the top of the Billboard Hot 100, hitting the number 2 spot on the charts instead. Despite its initial success, the tune doesn't always get the same attention nowadays.
Now I'm towing my car, there's a hole in the roof.
Finn's writing shines here in one of his most enduring singles of his entire musical career. The inventive lyrics elevate it beyond the other rock and new wave songs of the period. It could easily have a similar impact if it were released tomorrow, owing to its timeless quality.
Hey now, don't dream it's over.
Number 18, Send Me an Angel, Real Life. From their debut album Heartland, Real Life single Send Me an Angel captures the early new wave scene in full force.
Do you believe in heaven above? Do you believe in love?
The group released an initial version in 1983, but their version from 1989 did even better in countries like the US. Bands have rarely had as much fun in the studio as this, generating an earworm that you will not soon forget.
If a girl walks in and calls her name in my heart, I'll turn and run away.
If there's such a thing as enjoyably repetitive, Send Me an Angel takes the cake with its simple glory. There have been many covers since that attempt to capture the energy of the original, but Real Life's version reigns supreme.
Send me an angel right now.
Number 17, If This Is It, Huey Lewis and the News. Huey Lewis and the News might not have been the hardest rocking stars of the 80s, but they certainly had a number of successful hits.
I've been phoning at night and morning.
If This Is It finds them in top form, with both an entertaining 80s production and a throwback to doo-wop music. Lewis's vocals are typically well-rounded and powerful throughout, especially in the fun chorus. The song appears on their album Sports, and doesn't always get the same reception as their other singles.
Girl, don't lie and tell me that you need me.
For those wanting an enjoyable trip back to the height of the group's career, you could do a lot worse than If This Is It.
If this is it, if this is it, please let me know. I gotta know.
Number 16, Voices Carry, Till Tuesday. While they might have had short-lived success, the band Till Tuesday more than proved themselves with the single Voices Carry.
In the dark, I like to read his mind.
again sings the track with complete conviction, giving this new wave production something special. Her performance indicates all the promise of her eventual solo career, while still capturing a very definite 80s pop vibe.
And I try so hard to keep it inside, so no one can.
The Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 hit also gives off a more unique sound that seems to have influenced portions of the alternative rock scene as well. Till Tuesday's legacy continued on for 2 more albums, but this hit remains the highlight of their brief run. Number 15, Waiting for a Star to Fall, Boy Meets Girl. Boy Meets Girl is an 80s pop act composed of Shannon Rubicam and George Merrill, both known as the songwriting duo behind a pair of Whitney Houston classics. Off of their second album, Real Life, Waiting for a Star to Fall has all of the wonder of a classic and unadulterated pop effort.
I wish I didn't feel so strong about you, like happiness and love revolve around you.
The song made it to number 5 on the Hot 100 and managed to find audiences with chart success around the world.
I learned to feel what I cannot see, but with you, I lose that vision.
Since its release, there have even been a few covers that have reinterpreted it for 21st century listeners. The composers clearly demonstrated that they also have talent as performers. Number 14, The Killing Moon, Echo and the Bunnymen. At the intersection of new wave and the gothic rock movement, Echo and the Bunnymen offer up the perfect bridge between musical influences. The Killing Moon serves as one of their greatest achievements as a band. Perfect for a spooky evening listen, the single has a murky and atmospheric sound that lures listeners into its mystery. Several films like Donnie Darko have borrowed the tune and capitalized on its intriguing nature. Dangerous and romantic, the track features career-best vocals from singer Ian McCulloch.
In the starlit nights I saw you, so cruelly you kissed me.
Even if the group or song hasn't reached household status, that doesn't mean it can't have another resurgence.
Fate up against your will.
Number 13, SelfControl, Laura Branigan. Laura Branigan continues to be an underrated performer from the 80s. Her contributions to the cover song SelfControl helped make it a top 5 hit on the Billboard pop chart. As with her other signature hit Gloria, Branigan stands out with a lively performance style. The single soared to the top of several international charts during the peak of the artist's fame. Taking a cue from the Italian disco scene, she takes Raff's original release for a ride in genre mixing production. With a steamy story and arrangement, SelfControl reminds everyone why the singer should be remembered as one of the unsung solo artists from the period. Number 12, Out of Touch, Hall & Oates. There haven't been many duos in music history as successful as Daryl Hall and John Oates. Before their slowdown in the late 80s, they had one final number 1 in the decade with Out of Touch. The bouncy synth track reveals the all-star musicianship from the pair, who bend genres at the will of the current popular music trend. With humble roots in R&B and rock, Hall & Oates stretch their legs in a supremely catchy pop single. This, and their accompanying album Big Bam Boom, might seem like a proverbial swan song, but instead display a band that's only getting started with another phase of their fruitful career.
You're out of touch, I'm out of time.
Number 11, All Through the Night, Cyndi Lauper. Cyndi Lauper's first album contains many of her finest and most acclaimed tracks. One of those songs, All Through the Night, doesn't receive the same attention as it deserves.
I'll be awake and I'll be with you.
Like her other major hit, Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, the piece is actually a cover that has since become synonymous with the singer. The song glides effortlessly between being a passionate love ballad and a delicate lullaby.
We have no past, we want to reach back.
Lauper's angelic voice carries the verses with a beautifully somber quality. A guest vocal from the original author Jewel Shear also rounds out the production with some well-placed harmonies. The entire song deserves further attention for its showcase of the performer's talents and a pure pop sound.
Keep with me forward up through the night.
Number 10. Dead Man's Party, Oingo Boingo. As a delightfully different act from the decade, Oingo Boingo again defies expectations with Dead Man's Party. Singer Danny Elfman and company generate a track that utilizes a mix of new wave and ska elements into one of the band's best efforts. It's also been heard in the film Back to School, among many other appearances since its initial release in 1986. The groovy beat and imaginative lyrics keep audiences engaged the whole way through. From start to finish, Elfman's idiosyncratic performance and the horn section make this a truly memorable experience. The frontman was destined for further greatness as a film composer, but this kind of release has its own inherent greatness that's worth celebrating. Number 9. In a Big Country, Big Country. In a Big Country could only have been sung by Big Country. That's not only because of their title similarities, but because the single has all of their trademarks, from a driving rock foundation to folk and Celtic arrangements.
I've never seen you look like this without a reason.
Even with this early song off of their debut album The Crossing, the group feels more than ready for mainstream success. The track found an audience in both the UK and the US, where it was a top 20 success.
So take that look out of here, it doesn't fit you.
Some people think of Big Country as a one-hit wonder, but they've managed to keep a devoted following since their first release. This tune, more than any other, best represents their bright sound and Scottish roots.
In a big country, dreams stay with you.
Number 8. The Perfect Kiss, New Order. The Perfect Kiss represents New Order's firm grasp on the synth-pop genre. As one of the early masters of the genre, the band's post-punk roots transfer fluidly into this epic and electronic single.
I stood there beside myself, thinking hard about the weather.
Beyond its cryptic lyrics, there's an engrossing dance-pop song waiting to be discovered. In an exciting and methodical track, Peter Hook's bass playing is one of the many ingredients that come together to make it a standout effort.
I have always thought about thinking I'm going out.
With some minor success on the 80s pop charts, this work was never a commercial high point for New Order. More time has allowed for people to reconsider it, hopefully leading to its reappraisal as a notable entry into the synthwave.
Now I know the perfect kiss is a kiss of death.
Number 7. I Got You, Split Ends. New Zealand legends Split Ends maintained a steady output in the early 80s. Their track I Got You finds them in peak form and serves as one of their calling cards.
I don't go out, not now that you're in.
Singer and songwriter Neil Finn lends his musical prowess to a rocker with an enthralling presentation. By the time you reach the chorus, there's no way to deny the catchiness of this single.
I don't know why sometimes I get frightened.
New Zealanders and neighboring Australia welcomed the song with open arms before it sailed around the world to further fame. Split Ends has more than a few engaging songs, but this stands as one of their finest moments.
See my eyes, tell me you're not lying.
Number 6. The Promise, When in Rome. New wave group When in Rome had at least one sizable entry into the 80s canon with The Promise.
If you need a friend, don't look to a stranger.
One could easily criticize it for its cheesy synth or its heartfelt lyrics, but this track is much more than the sum of its parts. Sometimes sincerity trumps more artful words, and this song works in much the same way, shedding any pretense to tell a direct love story.
When your day is through, and so is your temple.
When in Rome's dueling singers both deliver commendable vocal parts in an all-too-rare 80s male duet. The Promise is also prominently featured at the end of Napoleon Dynamite. where many people too young for the original release heard the track for the first time. Number 5. Running Up That Hill, Kate Bush. Critically acclaimed and legendary among many music circles, Kate Bush is one of the great minds behind more avant-garde pop music in the 80s.
It doesn't hurt me. Yeah, yeah.
The song Running Up That Hill has an undisputed power that Bush harnesses without wasting 1 second. Defying genres, the multifaceted artist uses a mesmerizing drum beat to construct a single like no other.
If only could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap places.
The performer's impressive singing voice also gives the entire production a beautiful resonance that few others can replicate. Running Up That Hill received another resurgence after being featured in Stranger Things, introducing a new generation to the wonders of her artistry. Number 4. Headover Heels, Tears for Fears. Tears for Fears more than earned their title as one of the decade's best new wave acts, reminding everyone of their talents in Headover Heels.
I wanted to be with you alone.
It comes off of the band's smash album Songs from the Big Chair, starting with a triumphant piano intro that leads into a smooth and listenable production. Among a list of extremely underrated 80s singers, Roland Orzabal gives one of his finest performances in a triumphant expression of affection.
I made a vow watching it all. Thought of your future.
Its considerable success upon release has since dissipated because of the group's other singles taking precedent, including Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Its true potential as a definitive pop statement could have easily made it the greatest work of any lesser band. Number 3. The Stroke, Billy Squier. Billy Squier's The Stroke is the primary track associated with the musician's career.
Don't take no rhythm. Don't take no style.
A single off of his highly successful album Don't Say No, the artist creates music that's perfect for a stadium rock tour. Whether or not you understand the lyrics, Squier's electric vocals coincide with a groovy riff that will have you playing air guitar in no time. One of his best musical statements still rocks the house all these years later.
Put your left foot out. Keep it all in place.
Even people who don't remember his name can appreciate this full-throttle 80s declaration, cultivating a wild performance into a few shocking minutes. Number 2. Urgent, Foreigner. Foreigner is known for many different singles, but Urgent sometimes falls between the cracks.
I'm not shy. You get around.
Among the band's first releases in the 80s, the track and its adjoining fourth album function as an evolution of their sound, without compromising their earlier success. The song clearly had its day in the sun, attracting enough attention to reach the top of the US mainstream rock charts.
You play tricks on my mind.
Elements such as Lou Graham's energetic vocals and an amazing saxophone solo by Junior Walker take this production to another level. While Foreigner isn't everyone's cup of tea, this track's funky energy could easily sway critics.
Emergency, urgent.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Never Tear Us Apart, INXS. Never Tear Us Apart is an 80s ballad like no other. INXS might be known for bombastic new wave songs and big rock productions, but this track features them in a more somber mood.
Don't ask me what you know is true.
Michael Hutchence delivers a glorious vocal with all the passion of a true artist with great charisma. The lyrics stand out and read out like a beautiful love letter.
I told you that we could fly.
A string arrangement is the main focus for this particular work, which might be the boldest in the INXS catalog.
Two worlds colliding, and they could never tear us apart.
It might have been a single in its day, but it deserves to be heard as much as their other hits like Need You Tonight. If you could share a secret beloved 80s song with us, what would it be? Let us know in the comments.